To Random City Sports Ballers. Today we're going to shift our focus to, wow, what a day in the world of football. So fantasy football has some big implications for the upcoming draft that we need to consider. We're going to start with Russell Wilson is gone from Denver. They cut him and then Steelers picked him up. Phew, boy. But we don't know how that's even going to turn out. Is that going to improve Russell Wilson? Will it improve the Steelers? I don't know. But I have a lot of faith in Pittsburgh. They tend to know how to use their talent. But some bigger stuff here. You ready for this? Pittman has signed a 3-year contract with the Colts, so he'll be staying in town. So that works for everybody. Saquon Barkley, guess what? He's done with the Giants. It's over. He's no longer a New York Giant. So now he's a Philadelphia Eagle. That has implications for the rest of the Eagles' backfield. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But Saquon Barkley in Philadelphia, that's the best offensive line he ever will have. And, well, that's gonna make an improvement for him. Derrick Henry has been, well, they're going to not sign him. Tennessee is moving along. There's someone else that they've already signed. So King Henry will be leaving Tennessee after 8 seasons. What a great career in Tennessee. You know, wow, so many times. How many times did he take you to a championship? Moving on from Derrick Henry to Justin Fields. Justin Fields still can't find a place to land. People thought the Falcons. I never thought the Falcons, but hey, you know, I could see Minnesota, but I don't know what's going to happen with Justin Fields. Moving along, Tony Pollard. Guess where Tony Pollard is? He's making up the room that they've moved Derrick Henry out, moving Tony Pollard in. I don't know if that improves or if it makes Tony Pollard less appetizing as a draft day target. We'll have to look and see what they do with the rest of the stuff because they've got to fix that offensive line. And for the love of God, fellas, give me a quarterback. Moving along, Calvin Ridley. Wow, Jacksonville wants to sign him, but they also just signed Gabe Davis. So, I don't know how they have enough room for all that talent. Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Gabe Davis, Zay Jones. Whew. Who do you get rid of, guys? Moving along, we've got Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards has left Baltimore to be coached by the brother of John Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh. He's on his way to the LA Chargers. Almost called him San Diego. I'll get used to that eventually. So Gus Edwards, I don't think that's very big impact, but, you know, I mean, it's Gus Edwards. He's not exactly going to make or break your team. He does get some touchdowns, which is nice when he was in Baltimore. We don't know how that's going to end up in LA. But moving on to DeAndre Swift. Well, if we've got Saquon Barkley heading to Philadelphia, Swift had to go somewhere, and he landed in Chicago. So what does that mean for Khalil Herbert? What does that do for DeAndre Swift? Are the two of them going to split time? It feels like having 2 scat backs is a weird way to run a backfield. But we'll see how it goes. Weird times, fellas. Weird times. This has been a heck of a day. The football world was shocked by the loss of Saquon Barkley in New York, but then they signed Devin Singletary. Is Singletary going to make up for all of... Oh, no, he is definitely not making up for what Saquon Barkley did. But it's going to make up for a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with Singletary now. Kirk Cousins trying to find his way back from injury. Oh, and here he is. He's going to go to Atlanta. Doesn't that make Justin Fields that much more appealing? So, Kirk Cousins heading to Atlanta. And I think that improves everything about Atlanta's offense. They definitely needed that improvement at quarterback. So good job by Atlanta to sign that free agent. Austin Eckler. Whew. There's some teams making inquiries. The reason that the Raiders are inquiring, we'll talk about that in a minute, because right here, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs has been traded off. He's actually, well, he isn't traded. his free agency move, and he is now a Green Bay Packer. I honestly believe that improves every statistical category for Josh Jacobs. So now I'm looking at him, but with Josh Jacobs leaving Green Bay, guess what happens? Their existing running back is now, we'll talk about Gabe Davis in a second, but Aaron Jones heading out. He's heading out. He's going to go sign with someone else. We don't know who. He's only 29. So we'll see. We'll see what he's able to land. He's going to land somewhere. He's going to land somewhere. It's just not going to be in Green Bay anymore. So we can count on, well, we've already talked about Gabe Davis going to Jacksonville. That's a big move for Jacksonville. That is a big move. So what we're looking at here, fellas, there's a lot of moves. T. Higgins is staying. Well, is he staying? I mean, he's requested a trade. Will they trade? I don't know. I mean, they did. You can apply a franchise tag to somebody, but it doesn't mean that T. Higgins. That'll be a big loss for them. And Antonio Gibson. Let's talk about this one last. Antonio Gibson is leaving the Washington Commanders, and he is heading out to the New England Patriots. That's not an upgrade for either the Patriots or for Antonio Gibson. I don't know. It's not exciting me. But Ramondre Stevenson is still going to be the guy there. So with Ezekiel Elliott becoming a free agent, I don't even know. I have no idea what's happening with Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, does anybody want to sign him at this point? I don't know. But there it is, fellas. A lot of big news today in the world of fantasy football. So make sure that you are preparing for the fantasy football draft now, so you're not surprised by these things later. Anyhow, I'm preparing a little bit. Take some of this advice. Don't take any of it. It's not really advice. I'm just pointing out what happened. So thanks for tuning in. We'll have some more content coming up soon, and best of luck with your baseball drafts.